Welcome back to Live at 9. It may say COVID-19 because it was the year 2019, but it's 5 years later since the world shut down. And Dr. Quinn, COVID, when you look back 5 years later from when we really took it seriously as a world, what are your just initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are the fact that we've had over 7 million deaths worldwide from COVID, which is significant. That's very impactful. But in the state of Mississippi, we've had 1,000 deaths since the beginning. But the reports are showing that COVID is still out there and people are contracting COVID, but the hospitalizations, the deaths, the ER visits are down. And I have the reason that the scientific community is citing. What's being cited is when COVID first came on the scene, it was new and our immune systems were not used to it. We didn't have the antibodies, which are a way of fighting it off. But since COVID began, almost everyone has had the shot and or had the infection where they developed the antibodies. The antibodies are like an army we have inside of our bodies. They're prepared for a certain enemy. For instance, when the flu first came out many years ago or a couple of centuries ago, a lot of people died the same way because we didn't have those antibodies or that defense system against the flu, but we now have a defense system against COVID. As a result, less people are getting sick, less people are dying, and less people are going to the hospital.
So it's not that the virus has gone weaker, it's that we have gotten stronger.
That is correct. That is correct. The majority of individuals in the world have either gotten the vaccination or they've contracted COVID, and we've developed a defense system. So our army is up and we're ready for COVID. As a result, we're getting less sick, less hospitalizations, and less deaths.
Vaccines are still a hot topic that people talk about. What is your suggestion when it comes to the vaccines?
Get vaccinated if you have not already done so, because what it does is it builds up your defense and it makes your army against COVID even stronger.
And I guess, how is COVID-19, because the reason they put 19 behind it, right, is because it was its own specific virus, a part of COVID. How has COVID morphed? I mean, is there a COVID 2025 or a COVID 25 that's just kind of a new variant?
There are new variants coming out, but our immune systems are so robust now. When a new variant comes out, we're able to attack it very quickly on the inside with those antibodies, and there's less time for the variant to evolve to a more infectious or more virulent variant.
When we look back on history of COVID-19 and how the world handled it, how it affected people, how it sadly took the lives of many, what are your thoughts when the history books write this and you were a doctor that was a part of this? How is history going to look back at this?
Well, hopefully the way history will look back at it is with the facts. The people that were more likely to lose their life were those that were elderly, which we can't help. We're all going to get elderly. I'm getting elderly myself. Or the people that had positive lifestyles as much as they possibly could. Those that exercised, those that ate as healthy as they could, and those that took care of themselves. If they had a medical condition, they kept it under control as best they could. So hopefully what we've learned as a nation, as a world, is let's just be as healthy as we can, but understand that we're going to get older and more compromised, less immune, and we just have to take care of ourselves the best we can.
Well, it's definitely crazy to look back at and how the world was, and the gym shut down, and you had to, more people were wearing masks. Although you see more people wear masks in normal settings than you ever did before, right? I mean, you used to see occasionally on the airlines, but now I see it in all kinds of places in big crowds that people still wearing masks.